My apologies, everyone, for being 1 minute late. Got here just a tad bit later than I am normally used to, but we took care of Kenzo, so Kenzo is fine. He already had his little early lunch. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get started. All right, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Ah, boy. Yet another day where I get to do what I love. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, peoples. Kyushu92 here. I know it's kind of a bright because it's gloomy outside. The potentiality of it snowing again is on the horizon. And, well, I just got to use my light again just to make sure that the lighting is correct. Let's bump this down to -6. Yes, that'll work out just fine. All right. Let us go ahead and get started, shall we? Good to see you, Ogata-san. Good to see you, Kohagen, as well. Yo, people's Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another One Piece chapter reaction and review. Oh boy, what an unbelievable chapter the last one was. The chapter where Law basically showed us just how powerful he really is with his awakened Ope Ope no Mi, and used Puncture Will on Big Mom with, I know a lot of people called his sword extending all the way down to Wano unnecessary, and then it imploding and leaving a giant gaping hole in the mountain range of Wano was a bit unnecessary, but I felt it was necessary to show just how powerful this technique was and why you need a technique that powerful to take on a Yonko of Big Mom's caliber. And hopefully we get to see what happens in chapter 1040. I saw the schedule. It appears that we're going to be going on break for this chapter. So let's see why we're going on break. Chapter 1040. Wasted Words on Young Years. Juramus Double Six's An Emotionless Excursion, Volume 4, A Creature Beyond the Power of Science. And here we have both Niji and Yonji thinking how they both got knocked around by Big Mom and how they ended up being pinned to one of Mondio's books. And they're just thinking of how Big Mom basically transcends the power of their science, the power of science, because Big Mom is an anomaly of an individual. Even compared to giants her size or bigger, she is a monster. So now they're just musing over just what Big Mom is. But chapter 1040, Wasted Words on Young Years. And here, this was when, this is also when Kid used his darn punk. Well, he said it's a different word other than darn, but he uses his railgun to basically shoot Big Mom directly in the chest. And this blast is directly above the giant hole that Law made, and it appears that Kid is trying to knock her into the hole and trying to knock her down that same hole. So she just basically falls to her death, apparently. But he's using his railgun to hit Big Mom, and it says, at present, it shows Onigashima hovering over the spot where Law made with his Puncture Will, and then it shows the rod that comes from, a railgun, a big tungsten rod, type rod. It shows it hitting Big Mom, but then she starts smiling. She is bleeding from her face, and she just smiles. And then Kid sees this, and then she says, "Hey, you brats!" And then Law's crew and Kid's crew is all like, what? She's not getting blasted down the hole. After all this, she still won't go down? And it shows Big Mom gripping. It shows Big Mom gripping the area around the hole so that she doesn't actually fall in. Big Mom is a tank. Can we just say that? She's got to be the toughest female character, physically wise, in the entire series. The fact that she took not only Law's awakened Puncture Will, but also took a railgun shot directly to the chest, and she's she's smiling and kind of chuckling a little bit, and she tanked all of this. And she still refuses to go down. She is what you would call the berserker class. But she's gripping onto the sides of the hole, and she's not allowing herself to get pushed down. And then we have Law's crew. It was Kid's crew saying, like, what? She's not getting blasted down the hole. After all this, she still won't go down? And then we have Jean Bart and the rest of them. No way, she's withstanding it. Those two can't keep going. And then Big Mom says, make your choice. You can select the fate you'll suffer the moment I deflect this thing back at you. You can give me 50 years of your lifespan, or you can keep it and serve me. And then she says, life or slavery. And it just shows this face of hers. Her eyes just still brimming with that soul power she imbued into herself. And then the rest of everyone around them, including the Beast Pirates, are saying like, it's the Soul Pocus! And then it has Kid's crew saying, you should get away from her, boss! And it shows the Beast Pirates. They're trying to run, but their souls are being ripped from their bodies. She's taking our lifespan away too! No creature on the brink of death is this powerful! She's terrifying! And as this is going on, everyone around Big Mom is having their soul ripped out. She is just, and it looks like there's black lightning coming off of her as well, so I don't know if she's using Conqueror's Haki with this too, but everyone around Big Mom is having their soul literally ripped out of their body. And then we have members of Law's crew who are having their souls kind of starting to get ripped from their body, saying, Captain, get out of there! Get out of here, go! And then then it shows an outside view as it shows Law walking directly up to Big Mom with that same dude that says, get out of here, Captain. He's saying like, huh? And then Law says, follow your own advice. And then Big Mom looks at him, and then Kid chimes in, why should we be afraid of the weak words of some old hag who's outlived her welcome? And then Law says, re-room. I'm sorry, re-room? Re-room? There's Kroom, there's the regular Kroom, and then he says, re-room. If this was a regular room, he would just say room, right? Why is he saying re-room? Like replace, like re in front of place, and like the words that have re in front of them. Replace, remind, re-room? Questions for later. Re-room. I can only imagine how hideous your death scream will be. And then it has people on the outside saying, neither of them is losing even a second of his lifespan. See, this is just a callback to what Jinbei said. If you have no fear around Big Mom, then her soul pocus will not work on you. So her soul pocus is not working on Kid and Law because they do not fear her. Neither of them is losing even a second of his lifespan. Do they not have a single ounce of fear for the Emperor of the Sea? Nope. Jinbei showed that the soul ability is useless against someone who doesn't fear the user of the soul fruit. And then we have the misery that Big Mom created says, I'll save you, Mama. And then Law says, this is what my savior would have done. Yo, and then there's a pop sound. There's a pop sound that, did he just send his re-room at Big Mom? He just sent his re-room at Big Mom, like an actual room, like a floating room. He doesn't just cause a room behind him. He just throws it at Big Mom. And as misery pops up behind him. This is what my savior would have done. Of course, referring to Rocinante. And then Kid says, don't you know when to give up the ghost, Emperor? Let me give you a hand and send you on your way to hell. And then the room pops up. The room pops up around Big Mom. And then Law says, silence. Bruh? Excuse me? Did Law just replicate Rocinante's devil fruit silence? He could do that? Law can create a room that silences sound. But he says, re-room, silence. And then all of the sound is gone from Big Mom. And then one of the Beast Pirates is saying, while they're having their soul ripped out, saying like, huh? All the sound vanished. And then it shows Rocinante's face. And then Law says, this technique extinguishes all sound created by your influence. And then Big Mom is trying to say something, but she can't even say anything. Law, basically, bruh, what? I'm sorry? Law basically copied Rocinante's silence ability. He can silence sound in his room. And Big Mom is thinking to herself, what? I can't speak. And then Misery is behind Law saying, Mama! And then Law says, I can't hear you. And then, because Misery is right behind the Misery is right behind Law, and then one of the Law's crew says, behind you, Captain! And then Kid says, follow up, Dawn Punk! And he shoots directly into Big Mom again. He shoots directly into Big Mom again while Law dodges an attack from not one, but two Miseries that are behind him. And this shot does it. This sends Big Mom down the hole. Mama! And it shows Big Mom still completely in silence. And then it just, because she's in this room and she can't even give commands to any of her homies. That's why they're waiting on her to give them an order, but they can't hear her, and she can't give them orders. So they literally don't know what to do. And as she's being pushed into this hole, she's thinking to herself, Prometheus, Hera, what are you doing? Save me! And it shows Big Mom plummeting into the basement where Yamato was facing off against the Kazembo. And then Yamato is saying, what? Big Mom? Why isn't she making any noise? And it shows Big Mom trying to swipe in the direction of something. And she's swiping in the direction of the bomb. One of the bombs that Yamato actually froze. Nothing I touch makes any sound. And she swipes into this bomb and causes it to explode. And as it explodes, the Kazembo is there, and Yamato is saying, no, it's going to set off the others. And as the Kazembo's there, it says, oh, Lord Orochi. And then there's an explosion from the bottom half of Onigashima, just like a giant chunk of Onigashima just goes up, just goes off. What is going on? A whole giant I know it sounds silent for me, please forgive me, but a whole giant chunk of Onigashima just explodes off the bottom half. And then apparently this is a monologue. We're getting a whole monologue from Big Mom in her mind. Ah, darn it, of all the luck. And she's coughing and she's still falling in silence down into this hole that Law created. They just got rid of Big Mom. They just got rid of Big Mom. And now we get more. Hey, Roger.
Why'd you have to go and say that? You got the whole world on this great era of piracy. Easy for you, you're dying. But when those kids rise up all over the world, we'll be the ones who have to deal with them. Just tell us about the One Piece before you die. Does it exist? It better.
And wow, did Big Mom have a conversation with Roger before his execution? And as this is going on, there's this multiple explosion as she's having this inner monologue of this past memory of hers talking to apparently Roger. But it shows Chopper and it shows the samurai in the performance floor as all of Onigashima shakes from this explosion. It shows Brooke and Robin, glad to know that they're still moving. It shows Zoro laying in a pool of blood, not moving at all. It shows... And as the area crumbles around him, it shows him kind of falling a little bit. Then it cuts to Hiyori, who has her mask on, if this is Hiyori, as the whole area just starts to flip. And she's still playing on her shamisen while Orochi's like... And then it shows Fukuro Kuju and Raizo still holding each other in a paralysis jutsu. Unless that is... No, they're still holding each other in their paralysis jutsu. And now Fukuro Kuju has gone up in flames. Water! But Big Mom is having this big monologue when she was thinking of Roger. And as she's falling... she's thinking,
what is it? Where is it? Some of it's in this country too, isn't it? I'm so close.
And it shows Big Mom falling into basically, what is this? What is she falling into? What is she falling into? She's falling. There's a light at the bottom of this. Is she falling down into the center of Wano? Because there's some fiery pit awaiting Big Mom at the bottom of this. Yo.
What is it? Where is it? Some of it's in this country too, isn't it? I'm so close. Kid, law, they'll pay for this. Don't you dare assume that this'll kill me.
And as it shows her falling into whatever this fiery pit is, we get narration as a ginormous nuclear-like explosion happens from the point of where Big Mom falls. We get the official narration. Emperor of the Sea, Big Mom versus the new generation. Battle of the performance floor under the dome. Winner, Eustace, Captain Kidd, and Surgeon of Death, Trafalgar Law. It has happened, ladies and gentlemen. Big Mom has been defeated. I don't even know wow. We knew that the Yonko were going to be defeated at some point. But this pure moment of seeing Mom fall into this fiery pit. Is there lava at the bottom of Wano? Did she just fall into lava? What happened to her? Because the whole area she just fell into just exploded. The whole mountain range that Law created a giant hole in with his puncture wheel, she fell into that, and an even bigger explosion just erupted from that area. Not only that, she's still enveloped by the Re-Room, the Silence Re-Room. So the explosion happened, but there is no sound. So people are still laughing. Because it has the sound effects off to the side of the flower capital. The people are still laughing over there, which means that Big Mom basically possibly just fell to her death. The whole area imploded and no one heard a sound. Big Mom just potentially died and no one knows because no one could hear it. I gotta read this whole panel again. Emperor of the Sea, Big Mom versus the new generation. I can't believe this is official now. This is official. This is official. Big Mom has been beaten. Emperor of the Sea, Big Mom versus the new generation. Battle of the performance floor under the dome. Winner, Eustace, Captain Kidd, and Surgeon of Death, Trafalgar Law. This is not even the last panel. This isn't the last panel. We still got more. We're only on pages 12 through 13. And then it shows the exhausted faces of Kidd and Law. And everyone is cheering for them. Their crews are cheering for them as Law's just still sitting, always sitting on a high up place with his Kikoku on his shoulder. And Kidd is just exhausted and he's laying back. And his captain, their crew are cheering for them, saying, "They beat Big Mom!
This is huge news! This is monumental!
Boss! Captain!" And then it shows Momonosuke. Because apparently, since the bottom half of Onigashima has been blown open, he can see Yamato now. Pardon me, there was a burp coming on. I didn't want it to interrupt my speech. With Momonosuke saying, "Is that you, Yamato?"
Momonosuke!
"Are you underground, but you're open to the air?"
"That's right, a single bomb blew the bottom off the island. I managed to encase them in ice, so we avoided the armory exploding all at once, thankfully."
"I am glad you're still well. I cannot leave my current task, however, so hear out what I have to say. Zunesha is very close by."
"What? The elephant from Odin's journal?"
"Indeed, a companion of Joy Boy who committed a crime 800 years ago." Excuse me? You don't just drop that knowledge at the end of a chapter that sees Big Mom defeated? Zunesha. Well, not Nisha. Nisha would be I, but it has an E here, so it's Zunesha. Zunesha is very close by.
"What? The elephant from Odin's journal?"
"Indeed, a companion of Joy Boy who committed a crime 800 years ago." Bruh. What? So that means Zunesha was around during the period of the Void Century. That's how old it is. That committed a crime 800 years ago? What crime? How dare you leave us on a break for this? And that's the end of the chapter. That's the end of the chapter. Oh, man. I love the theory. Okay, let me just see what you guys have said. Ogata-san, Cokehagen, Blaziken, Mr. DJ, and Karma. This was the best fight in Wano, to be honest. It was. Big Mom ain't dead. Like, I did put parentheses about her supposed death. Parentheses. If there isn't a body, then this person ain't dead yet. But let me see what you all have said. We got snow today in New England. It feels like it's going to be snowy around here a little bit, but who knows? Fine with a break after 3 chapters. Never a good sign when a Yonko smiles. The return of Punk Hazard Law. Big Mom salty, so it wasn't Brooke posing as the Grim Reaper. We don't know. No, it wasn't, because Brooke was not even there. He's still traveling with Robin. So either it's Zoro massively hallucinating because he's suffering the after effects of that regeneration serum medicine that he took, and it's just him massively going bonkers. Because he's starting to he's laying in a pool of his own blood right now. And it also shows his body kind of toppling from Onigashima because of the explosion that happened. No Fukuro Kuju is down. Yeah, it shows him down, falling down on fire with him screaming out for water, while Raizo just still stands there, he himself on fire, still tanking it. While Fukuro Kuju's all like, oh, fire bad, and then Raizo's all like, our Lord Odin was able to withstand an hour of this heat. This is nothing. And Raizo's just being an absolute unit. Just tanking the fire while Fukuro Kuju's all like, I'm on fire. Ah! Raizo hasn't screamed once since he's been on fire. This dude hasn't uttered a single word of pain. But Fukuro Kuju gets set on fire. Oh yeah, my big old long head. It's heat. It's hot now. Raizo won the contest. Yes, he did. This is the best outcome for Big Mom. Silent explosion. Great Big Mom voice acting. Thank you, Ogata-san. Big Mom is going to come back later on, but for now, she's not getting back for a while. The question is, what is it that she was falling into? Because she knows what it is. Because she says there's some of this in this country too. What it is remains unknown, but whatever it is, it's highly explosive because the whole mountain range that she fell into just went up. Just the explosion dwarfed the size of the flower capital and Onigashima. That's how big of an explosion it was. It was bigger than the flower capital itself. So whatever is under Wano, deep within Wano, is highly explosive because she fell into it and she just blew up. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that she's dead. Because she says, don't think that this will be enough to kill me. It didn't say don't think this will be enough to stop me. Just don't think this will be enough to kill me. So when her children come, I'm pretty sure they're going to be wondering what happened to her. Lawn Kid win. This is the best outcome because Big Mom may come back for Elbaf arc. This was the best fight in Wano. Karma says, betting she lands in the Morgura port, Wano's secret entrance. It's possible, but why would she look at it and it's a giant light from the bottom of Wano with her saying there's some of this in Wano, in the Wano country as well? Like, hold on, let me go back. She's thinking to herself, some of it's in this country too, isn't it? I'm so close. And she's falling towards whatever this bright light is, it goes up. So if it was the port, why would it explode? It has to be something else. There's something else down in Wano. Something other than Kairoseki. There's something else in Wano. So now we got to worry about that. The question is, who will kill her? Yeah, Big Mom's gonna come back later on. For now, Law and Kid gotta win. And they deserved it. As much effort as much power and as much effort as they put into this, they deserve it. Oda saying in Big Mom's line, don't assume this is enough to kill me. She is going to come back, maybe in Elbaf or Final War. Possibly. Lore drop. Yep, the grandmother of all cliffhangers. You love the theory that Zunisha committed the same crime Robin supposedly committed in Water 7. Existing. Joy Boy indeed might be a giant. Maybe Joy Boy was riding on the back of Zunisha, having fun. Then later on, Joy Boy and Emu have a fight. Then Emu curses Zunisha like we have no idea about the crime that Zunisha did. So basically everything you just said, Mr. DJ, is just one big massive theory. Because we have no idea. It sounds nice. I know it does, but we can't just assume Joy Boy D might be a giant. Maybe Joy Boy was riding on the back of Zunisha. It's good to have an imagination. We don't know. We don't know who Joy Boy is. We have no idea. Big Mom is asking if some of the answers are in this Wano, like One Piece, the meaning of D. We don't know that. We can't assume that she's just wondering, what is the One Piece? Where is it? Well, where is it? What is it? Where is it? That can be the One Piece, but Will of D, that's a stretch. That's a big stretch, so we don't know. We can't just go off of our theories just because they sound nice. We need a little bit more evidence than that. So just kind of temper that a little bit. But yeah, this sees the defeat of Big Mom completely by Kid and Law. When this news hits the world, I'm just thinking of the fallout that's about to happen. The fallout of the world finding out that Big Mom has been defeated. Did we get any big reveals this arc? We found out what Kaido's devil fruit is, but here's the thing. I looked up his devil fruit again, and it's the fish fruit model Azure Dragon. Now, when we found out what are my thoughts about the outcome of the defeat, Law and Kid are doing work. Yes, they earned that win. Finally, we can move on to Luffy versus Kaido. Yes, one of the biggest threats on Onigashima. One of the biggest threats of Onigashima right now is out of the picture. One of the most powerful pirates in the entire history of the show. The entire history of this entire series has been beaten. One of the most powerful characters in the entire series has been beaten, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Law's OP and Kid is disappointingly meh. I mean, railguns are powerful. Don't dismiss the power of a railgun. Big Mom not defeated, just down and out. Is that what you mean, Karma? Possibly. Now, and Blaziken says, now I hope that Kaido don't get defeated here in Wano, even when Luffy unlocks Gear 5, aka Tiger Man. People are really, really hoping to see like a brand new gear, aren't they? When currently, Luffy using Conquerors with his attacks is more than enough to keep him up with Kaido. Like, Law's supposed to not be not fighting because last chapter he said that his last attack will be his last, but he is still standing. Law's Devil Fruit is OP. Law is raw. All that's left is Kaido, CP0, and Apu. Apu is not even a major factor. Where is Kaido supposed to be defeated then? I mean, how is Kid meh? He's the reason Mom is defeated? Yeah, let me just look up like the basics of a railgun. Like, what is the destructive potential of a railgun? So, in comparison, what a railgun basically is railguns are being researched as weapons with projectiles that do not contain explosives or propellants, but are given extremely high velocities, approximately Mach 7 at sea level or more. For comparison, the M16 rifle has a muzzle speed of 930 M/S or 3,050 feet per second, and a 16-inch/50 caliber Mark 7 gun that armed World War II American battleships have a muzzle speed of 760, which because of its much greater projectile mass generated a muzzle energy of 360 mj and a downrange kinetic impact of energy of over 160 mj. By firing smaller projectiles at extremely high velocities, railguns may yield kinetic energy impacts equal or superior to the destructive energy of naval guns, but with greater range. This decreases ammunition size and weight, allowing more ammunition to be carried and eliminating the hazards of carrying explosives or propellants into a tank or navy weapon platforms. Now, it's saying that even though it doesn't seem like Kid's railgun may be all that powerful, railguns are actually quite powerful. If Luffy wins without a proper power-up, I'm quitting. We'll have to see how we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, it's up to Oda. I think it's going to be a legendary fight by Luffy and Kaido. It's a death match. I'm excited for Kaido's backstory, too. Very exciting. I mean, we kind of don't need Kaido again. We kind of don't need a Kaido again after this arc. We kind of don't. Because if he were to show up in like the final fight of One Piece, what would that signify? We've seen him beaten. If he gets defeated here and Wano, and then he shows up again in final battle, like what purpose would that serve? It wouldn't really serve much of a purpose, because the whole purpose of defeating Kaido here is not only for Luffy to, start to make himself on their level so he can become king of the pirates, but also to free Wano from both he and Orochi's tyranny. Other than that, his character kind of doesn't serve any other purpose than that. Not saying that he wouldn't serve a purpose, but he would just have a diminished role, because he wouldn't be really that big of a threat if he gets defeated here in Wano, but then shows up again, because it just means that he can be defeated again. So he kind of really doesn't need to show up any other place. That's just how I feel personally about it. But let me see. Let me look up the destructive potential of railguns. Railgun destructive power. What's it in comparison to? Let's see. It fires projectiles that destroy targets not with high explosive, but by smashing into them at hypersonic speed. Now, let me go back to Kid. R.I.P. Big Mom in Wano, chapter 930 to chapter 1040. Wow. To think that Big Mom showing up in Wano and all these chapters in between, and now, today of all days, the day before Valentine's Day, I think. When is Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Before Valentine's Day, before she can get any Valentine's chocolates from anybody, she's defeated. Not killed, but beaten. Beaten. Big Mom has been beaten. But to go back to Kid and his railgun, just to, get people's minds off of whether they think that Kid using a railgun is kind of meh. Imagine a high-velocity, thick projectile hitting you at hypersonic speeds. Speeds faster than even the average bullet can reach. Even the average sniper rifle can reach. And it's being launched at you at hypersonic speed. The concept of what Kizaru does to people with his devil fruit is applied here. Speed is weight. The faster an object goes, the more destructive it is. And seeing as how railguns shoot faster than your average gun, that's hitting into Big Mom. And him using a giant railgun against Big Mom, that's kind of the most destructive thing he has on him right now. Because picture, like I brought this up when I did my last reaction to the last chapter, or I was talking about it during one of my live streams. G.I. Joe Retaliation, where Cobra Commander uses Zeus to launch a big giant pillar down onto London, and because they don't blow up anything, they don't do anything, they just drop a solid rod into London, and the destructive potential of it launching from space into the atmosphere, going faster and faster. I mean, you guys have seen the scene, for those of you who've seen the movie. It destroys London. It destroys all of London. The fallout of it is just absolute destruction across all of London. That is essentially what Kid is doing to Big Mom, shooting and using electromagnetism to launch a projectile at Big Mom at speeds that she cannot physically anticipate and withstand against, with extreme hypersonic force. That's a very dangerous weapon, because that's faster than any other gun that shoots in One Piece. Sure, you got people who shoot fast, but they don't shoot railgun fast. So I can't downplay Kid's participation and Kid's efforts in this fight, because using a railgun to fight somebody with, that's a big thing. Railguns are not something to be scoffed at. So that's just my whole opinion. But overall, this chapter was amazing. It got me out of my chair. Oh my goodness, this chapter was absolutely amazing. The defeat of Big Mom. It's something that I always thought about, but never thought that we would be coming up on this chapter. I never thought that we would be coming up on this type of chapter right now, seeing one of the Yonkos defeated by the newer generation. I tell you, when this news hits the world, when this news hits Big Mom's territory, when her children find out, there's going to be a massive shift. Because, first of all, she only went to Wano to get revenge on Luffy making her look bad in the eyes of the people after the events of Whole Cake Island. Who knew that she would see her reign as Big Mom take a massive hit right here in this chapter, where she's beaten not by the person she came to kill, but by two other individuals that just said, like, yeah, we're not going to let you go to the roof. Just the mere thought of Big Mom being beaten was a concept that not a lot of people thought of. But now here we are with Kid and Law just not only surviving an encounter with Big Mom, but defeating her and coming out on top. When I say the world is not ready, first of all, you got the events of the world still reeling from the fact that the Revolutionary Army has proclaimed war on the Celestial Dragons and all of the world government. They're still reeling from that. But imagine how beside themselves they're going to be. Imagine how beside themselves they're going to be when they find out that Big Mom has been beaten by Law and Kid. Just imagine. How come we don't have a death yet? I feel like it's going to be coming. Who knows? We may not get too many large deaths in this arc. I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. But if we do get a death, it's probably not going to occur until we get to where Luffy and Kaido are. Because where are Kiku and Kinemon? What's going to happen with Orochi and Hiyori? And mind you, if that is Hiyori sitting there with him, she is very, very chill about all of Onigashima just shaking at its very foundation. Like a hole is in the bottom of Onigashima right now. So there's still a couple of loose ends that we need to tie up. We need to tie up the loose end of we don't need to tie up Fukurokuju and Raizo. We just need to finish it. That's all. Because Fukurokuju is currently on fire just like Raizo. So we need to see where that ends finally. But there aren't too many big issues that we really need to resolve. The only thing that's really left is Luffy versus Kaido. That's actually the only big fight. That's actually the only big fight that's going on. But we still need to resolve the issue of Orochi still being alive. And we need to resolve what's going to go on with CP0 as they're chasing after Brook and Robin, but mainly Robin. So there's still a couple of loose ends, but we can get it down on just this one hand alone. I believe there's less than 4 issues that need to be resolved. One minor issue, which is finally seeing the end of Raizo versus his fight with Fukurokuju and finally end that. Then we need to resolve Luffy versus Kaido. We need to resolve that. And then we need to resolve the fate of Orochi. Everything else is just minor right now. But the main event of Luffy versus Kaido, that still needs to be resolved. Wano needs more story development because it's mostly just fights and action right now. Right. And I'm actually glad that we're getting all these fights and stuff out of the way and taken care of, because once we get down to the story, I feel like we're going to have a lot of chapters just dedicated to story. We've been getting a lot of action chapters lately, but I feel like we're going to start getting a lot of quiet speaking world building chapters, because we've had so many chapters just dedicated to just fight. So now I think it's time that we get some story development, character development, and some world building development on top of that. Really hope we get a couple of chapters of Kaido's flashback before his defeat. I hope we do as well. I would love to get a young Kaido, how he met Rox, how he became part of Rox's pirate crew. the moment where Big Mom got the fish fruit, model azure dragon devil fruit for Kaido, how he got a daughter. Like, can we just address that? We all know that Yamato has a dad. How did he meet Yamato's mom? I believe it may not be even an issue that they touch on, but come on, how do you get a daughter and not address the fact that he possibly had a wife or a lover and had a daughter by him? There's a lot of backstory things that we kind of need to address with Kaido. Why does he regard Yamato as she comes from a family of ogres? Is he an actual ogre? What is Kaido? What is he? So many questions that I feel like backstories will need to cover. I just hope these flashbacks won't be too long. I hope these flashbacks happen as the fight between Luffy and Kaido are going on. Because we don't need another set of flashbacks that are as long as Odin's entire backstory. We kind of don't need chapters that are that long. Now, we do need to dive into Kaido's history, but we don't need his flashback to be as long as Odin's. Speaking of moms, who is Luffy's mom? That is a question that many people have been wondering, and I'm just going to go ahead and put your mind at ease. No one knows, and I highly doubt it's going to be brought up anytime soon. Dad is Dragon, but who is mom? We don't know. We don't know. We will just have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But this was a 10 out of 10 chapter. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. My goodness, this was amazing. This was a great chapter. There's nothing else I can say to it. If I missed anything, I'm pretty sure who is the monster who gave birth to such a monster? Who is the monster who was able to get dragon? But Luffy's mom is kind of irrelevant. Yeah, Karma's right, though. Like, Luffy's mom really doesn't have any relevance in the story. For now. Who knows? Luffy's mom might actually be important, but we just don't know. We don't know what angle Oda's going to go into. Hope we get around 2 to 3 chapters of Kaido's backstory. I hope so as well. There's a lot you can cover in 2 to 3 chapters. I really do. But let me just end my thoughts and stream so I can move on to My Hero Academia with this. One of the Yonkos have been beaten. One of the Yonkos have been beaten. Oh man, this is a big achievement. This is a very big achievement, not only for the worst generation, but for like the new era of piracy as a whole. Because now, with the defeat of Big Mom, people are going to be wondering, okay, who's going to take over for Big Mom now? Remember when they were having that, the Charlotte children were having that conversation, and Pedals was all like, it should be me because I'm the oldest. And everyone else was saying, well, it should be Katakuri because he's the strongest after Big Mom. So now, imagine how the rest of everyone on Whole Cake Island is going to feel when they hear that Big Mom has been defeated and the last they saw of Big Mom was her falling into a giant bottomless pit and then that pit exploding with her inside. Imagine how all of Whole Cake Island is going to feel when their ruler does not come back. There's just like a lot of things to consider here. And I feel like One Piece as a whole, the world of One Piece is about to shake just because of Big Mom alone. But now we need to deal with Kaido. Kaido is the only one holding up this entire battle for all of Wano up on himself. He's the only one left. And I feel like we haven't seen the absolute best that Kaido can do. There's still some things to Kaido that he's just not sharing with everyone. Strength-wise, ability-wise, there's still something from Kaido that he's saving. I feel like he still has one final trump card, but we're just going to have to see. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done. This is already approaching like 50 minutes worth of a stream. So if I missed anything incredibly important, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to let me know in the comments. Big Mom is down. Kohagen says Kaido is next. And then after that, They need to make sure that Orochi stays dead, and then Wano will be free. Who knows how long, because the world government is making their way towards Wano to take control of it, but I highly doubt that is going to be so easy. But let's not forget how Momonosuke knows that there was a crime committed by Joy Boy and Zunisha 800 years ago, and that falls in line with the time period of the Void Century. So is the crime the reason why the Void Century exists? So many questions. Okay? I've been talking about Big Mom and how defeating her was such a big feat, but now we're getting more exposition about what could have possibly caused the Void Century to be regarded as the Void Century. So many questions, but we're going to have to sit on it because we're going on break. I got nothing. That's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say what an honor and a privilege it is for me to bring my reactions to you of one of the best manga series that I've been reading on top of My Hero Academia. I just really hope you guys all enjoyed. I just love doing this, and I'm just constantly looking forward to when I'll be able to do this full time for you guys. It's getting closer and closer, because Lord knows these recent shifts of mind have made me desire to do this even further, and I'm not going to stop until I achieve it, and then you guys will have me at your beck and call as an entertainer 24/7 if I choose to do it that way. But all the time. Basically, let me just say all the time. You'll have me at your beck and call all the time, because that's what I'll be able to dedicate all my time to. So I'm really looking forward to the day when that happens. Not if it happens, but when. So just want to say thank you for enjoying what I do. It really does mean the world to me. That's all I got. I don't want to get too mushy and gushy with you guys. You guys know how I can be. Tear coming down on the side of my face. But you guys know how I am. I just love what I do, and I just want to say thank you for watching. I really do hope you all enjoyed. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing or consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. On to My Hero Academia, it seems. Oh boy.